Happy New Year and welcome to the Arcade Heroes podcast, the first of 2016, as we're doing this on New Year's Day, January 1st, 2016. It's been a few weeks, or several weeks, or probably more accurate to say a few months since we did the last podcast, but
a few months.
Reintroducing myself, I'm Adam Pratt with ArcadeHeroes.com. And joining me, as always, is Sean McDermott from All Castle Games. Hello, Sean.
Hello, Adam. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you. How was your Christmas and New Year holiday season?
I worked so much, so I don't.
Yeah.
We didn't even get snow here until
really
just recently, a couple of days ago. So it didn't even feel like Christmas. It was rainy and warm. It's weird.
Yeah, here out west, in the old west, it's been very, very cold and very snowy. So we actually had snow Christmas morning, so that fulfilled the song. And there's been some other flurries since, so my driveway still has some snow blended with ice on there that's a pain to shovel. But
well, you know, Wisconsin, it was like warm and rainy on Christmas, and then we got dumped with, in Fond du Lac here, we got dumped with 12 inches in one day. You know,
right.
Just, you know, and tons of, you know, plow trucks were even having problems, and snow blowers, ice mix on top of it. So a lot of snow blowers weren't ready, and it was quite a day, and it took a couple days to get over that, and
right.
We're pros up here. You know? I mean, it's not like in Texas down there.
So yeah, you have to laugh when you see those places like Texas or Florida, and they get a centimeter of snow and they freak out and shut everything down, and it's just like, that's nothing. But yeah, so I honestly can't remember what it is that we talked about.
Who knows? We'll try to get one every month at least.
Right.
That's going to be the goal. Like the first of every month, let's try to get one out. You know, just
right. Well, I think the main thing that's happened between the last one and this one is just that we did. It was IAPPA time.
Oh yeah, we forgot.
So there was that trade show, and once IAPPA hits, right after that's Thanksgiving, and then after that's the month of December, and there was all sorts of things, and so yeah, it's been busy.
Yeah, it's you know, it's fourth quarter, and not that we're trying to make excuses here, but it's just been too busy, and most of us are one-man operations. I don't know about you, but I am for the most.
Yeah, that's it's me and my brother at the arcade, and so it's been a bit hectic to try and cover everything. Like today was extremely busy. Just all the people out and about celebrating the new year, and no school. So I mean, as I was telling somebody yesterday, we're comparable with the movie industry. When the movie industry's busy or there's things like that out, then the arcade industry's generally going to be pretty busy too.
So speaking of the movie industry, how's Star Wars been treating you?
Oh, really well.
I'm not going to spoil it here. No one's going to talk about it. I'm just saying.
Han Solo is.
I'm sure you saw it, right?
I did see. I saw episode 7 on opening night, and didn't have any trouble getting tickets. Actually, there's a relatively new theater over by me, almost within walking distance. And I mean, I bought my tickets probably 3 weeks after they went on or on the initial sale, and I thought, it'll probably be a while before I get any. And no, there was plenty of seats available. Now, by the time the movie did come out, it was a packed theater, but still, it wasn't as bad.
Did the movie was it good? Did you like it? I mean, did it?
Yeah. I mean, what I've been telling people is that I think the general consensus is that it's definitely better than any of the prequels. Or say episode 3, which is generally considered to be the strongest of the prequels. But even then, it felt a lot like a Star Wars movie. Now, granted, some of that came from a lot of references. I think they just got a little too heavy on the references. And I saw a review from some guys that are in Wisconsin, actually, Red Letter Media, where they suggested it was a soft reboot, and I would agree with that assessment. It felt kind of like a reboot of Star Wars.
Yeah, you definitely didn't have to see the original ones at all to get into this, which is good.
No, definitely. So, I mean, it definitely was an enjoyable film without knowing anything about Star Wars. But I think that it had enough in it that was able to stand out, and it's something I would like to see again.
Did you see it in 3D or 2D? I mean,
2D.
2D, yeah, that's the way to go.
Yeah. So when there's a $5 IMAX showing at the theater at the mall where I'm at, then I'll have to go see it in IMAX and see how awesome it is.
Now, there. I heard that you, excuse me, I heard that you brought your big old battle pod down to the cinema there. How'd that go?
Yeah, so working with the theater there, they're owned by a company called Larry H. Miller Companies. And so they're the Larry H. Miller Megaplex. He's kind of a local, or was a local celebrity. He died a couple of years ago. But he used to be the owner of the Utah Jazz basketball team, and they own a lot of car dealerships. And
I don't play basketball, but I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Are they from New Orleans or something?
Well, they used to be,
because there's a big old pun in basketball about that, isn't there?
Right. Yeah, it used to be the New Orleans Jazz, and then they moved to Utah. I don't remember.
Where they don't allow music, right?
The history, which is not true.
I'm just kidding.
And so yeah. Anyways,
you can rip on me for the Packers losing. Okay.
Right. So yeah, we.
So you make good money? Are you making money down there? Or is it just for?
Well, to be honest, we were kind of feeling that we would have done just fine with the machine at the arcade, because one issue was we had to have somebody there to try and teach people about it, because there's still a lot of people that will approach the battle pod and they just don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to get inside of it. They don't see the big open sticker that's right next to the door handle, that sort of thing, and so it's a little.
I mean, you probably don't have a bill acceptor on it either, do you?
Well, that's the thing, is they did not wire it for a bill acceptor. Namco was completely backwards with this, and I've complained about this to them, but I'm sure they don't care. It's bizarre because you have this $30,000.
What kind of coin door does it have?
And it just has a coin door with a coin acceptor. It doesn't have any wiring for a.
Is it like a HAP over under door, like traditional?
No, it's an Asian style.
Oh my god!
So it actually came with a sticker inside of it that said HK $2, so like Hong Kong, I think. So that was really bizarre.
I've played those before.
Planning on their part.
I've played those before, and I've never looked at the coin door in detail. I was just so enthralled by the screen, So.
Right. But yeah, internally there's nothing there to install a bill acceptor, so I'd like to get that done. But that was part of the problem too. It could take quarters or tokens, but getting that explained to people, and most of the time we didn't have somebody there to watch it.
You had no changer
there by itself. We did get a changer put next to it.
Oh, okay.
For some of the time, but even then, it was a bit of mess, but one of those things to live and learn and figure it out better for next time, essentially.
Yeah, for us, Star Wars has been busy. It wasn't like, I was expecting, I don't know what I was expecting for business in the cinemas that we have, but it was basically like any other large movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been noticing, I was actually on service today, believe it or not, New Year's Day. And I've been noticing, though, it's been at least like 2 big weekends in a row. It's like, like opening weekends. So it's got some legs. More than a traditional movie that we've seen in a long time, at least. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping. I don't know how. I'm kind of in uncharted waters where I don't know. Usually at this time of the year we start slowing down. We start cutting down service. Preventive maintenance service, and I don't know exactly with this movie when I should start doing that. Is it going to keep going for a couple more weeks? you know.
Mm-hmm.
And because I mean, I went to one location, they're out of tokens, you know. I mean, and
Right.
they shouldn't be at this time of year, you know. I mean,
Right.
So
well, and we saw the Saturday after, or actually the day after Christmas, was the busiest day we've ever recorded in 7.5 years in business. And so while some of that is obviously just from the Christmas season, and the day after Christmas is always busy, the Star Wars effect is obviously there to some degree.
Yeah, I don't have that luxury anymore of knowing exactly what day. You know, I do things by the week, you know.
Right.
And aside from credit card sales, so I can look at it that way, but there's not very many, to be honest.
The one that had been in Illinois for the location test and was all still in Japanese.
So did it smell like me, huh?
Yeah, it smelled like, I can tell.
It smelled like cheese and booze.
Right. I'll refrain from commenting.
I left a piece of bubble gum under the seat for you too, you know.
Well, thanks. That was.
Don't you love it when they do that?
Disgusting of you. But no, that was cool.
What did you think of that game? Honestly, like as a console player, you know, I know you've played the real game.
Right. I liked it. It was different than your typical light gun shooter. Now,
that's what I thought.
I guess the question is, will most people be able to handle it? And that's kind of what I was thinking about. It was a little difficult
because it has two buttons.
Right. Having 2 buttons on a gun, that's crazy talk. But, I mean, it's not just that. The mechanics are different. It's not just a point-and-shoot game, and it's not even a point-and-suck-the-ghost-in game exactly, because you have to stun the ghosts and then suck them in and fight them, but then they'll have other ones coming in and attacking you while you're already getting some other ones in. So it's a little bit challenging, but I guess overall it'll be interesting to see how it pans out once the English translation's fully done. And also, I would have liked to have seen the graphics upgraded a little bit, because while the resolution's fine and the textures look fine, like some of the models, like the coins aren't round. They're almost like hexagons, and that just looks odd. But
I'd like to see them lower the price.
Yeah, overall, I like that one. What's that?
I'd like to see them lower the price. That's what I always want to see.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing, is it's not going to be. I'm sure a Transformers environmental is probably cheaper than it'll be. That's just too bad.
Yeah, it'll have legs, though. I think I don't think people are going to care about graphics. I mean,
Sega seemed pretty excited about it. They were saying they had people traveling from as far south as Florida to go check out the Illinois location test. So that's something.
Yeah,
the world's largest.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that I was kind of moving on, but if you want to.
No, just go ahead and move on. I'm just being,
Okay, gotcha. The unprofessional podcast continues.
Yeah. We have no script today, folks. Sorry.
Yeah. It was. Now I'm losing my train of thought. World's largest Pac-Man at Namco looks cool. I don't like the price on that one. That's also one I'd really like to see.
Did they give you a price? Like, I don't even know.
They were saying around $12,000.
Oh, Jesus. How many quarters is that going to take?
Well, that's the problem, is even though you have this enormous screen and it looks unique, and it's world's largest Pac-Man,
I can just take a Pac-Man arcade party and put a projector on it, too.
Right. That's the problem. And so they were hinting at having other games, because it did have Galaga on it as well, and they were modifying the game so that it does have co-op classic Pac-Man and co-op classic Galaga on it. So that'll help, but it really should.
I'm going to be brutally honest. It could have all of Namco's library, and at $12,000, I don't think it'll pay for itself. Honestly.
That's the thing, is it at the very least needs to have at least, say, the Pac-Man arcade party content on it. Yeah. Although even that is pretty minimal. I mean, there's a lot of multi-game compilations out there that have a lot more to them, and Namco has a much larger library. But yeah, it's just hard to say where
I probably should.
anything goes.
I should probably clarify that. I mean, most locations won't be able to make money with that, like water parks and stuff will.
Like and maybe that's what they're considering it to be, is, oh well, this isn't really a arcade piece anyways, this is the theme park piece, and so maybe that's why it's priced it is. I mean, as much as I would love to have one in my location, I agree. I at this point, I don't see how it would make its money back. I mean, because I see how well Miss Pac-Man and Donkey Kong do week in, week out, and those are my strongest classics. But that's still nowhere close to what something like Aliens Armageddon or Jurassic Park or Star Wars Battle Pod are making per week. You know, those are making 50 times as much as those are, and of course those ones it's easier to charge $1 per play. Even though it's big, I highly doubt you're going to get away with charging $1 to play Pac-Man.
Well, they'll play it once and that's it,
right?
And even then they're going to play a long time, and
right,
yeah,
since they know what they're doing.
See, the problem I've always had with this, and the same reason with Arcade Party and all that stuff, is, you know, even when they came out with the 20th reunion, they wanted to up it to 50 cents. And up here, you know, up north with all us backwards people, it didn't fly with the locals. They were like, oh, I got to pay 50 cents to play Pac-Man. This should be $0.25. And it doesn't matter if it has the largest screen in the world. It's still Pac-Man. It's a great idea. I like the idea, and I wish that, you know, it's not really a bad price for what it is, but it's not for me, you know. So
right.
So
and I guess along those lines, they do have that's not the only Galaga. They did have a brand new. They had Galaga Assault, which is a redemption game, but I was able to get the Namco guys to change the game to amusement mode so I could see what it's like without requiring tickets, and that was good. It was Galaga, just newer graphics and a few minor tweaks, but nothing that derailed it from being Galaga. So that one is a piece that I was hearing it's about $5,000-$6,000 for that. That's still pricey when you can find an old Galaga for.
Now, is there the amusement only? Is that a different version that you have to buy separate, or can it just be switched?
Nope, it's built into the game. It's an operator setting. Go in
for $5,000 for redemption. It's a redemption piece too, right?
Yes, yeah. That's its main point. It's the new Pac-Man Chomp Mania,
which I was told
it just addresses the. Right, that one had a few faults to it. And so that's what they tried to address. I mean, it's still very simplistic in its redemption mode, but the amusement mode, I mean, I was impressed. I could have played that a while longer, but I relented so that other people could try the redemption version. But still, that was a nice touch.
Do you need a sec?
What's that?
Do you think? Do you get? I mean, if you can talk to them over at Raw Thrills, is there possible to do a linked version of that, or that would be
that I would have to ask about. I'm not sure about. They didn't say anything about a linked version. They had 2 units there, but they weren't linked. It does have a high score table. It has the QR scanning stuff that Raw Thrills has been working on for a while, but not the.
That'd be kind of neat. I don't know if they could figure out some sort of game that would work where it's linked and you're kind of battling each other. You know, maybe sort of similar to. Maybe they could do a different game where it's more like Battle Royale, but with Galaga. You know, I mean,
right.
Think about. I don't know how that would work, but.
And I think everybody's been kind of waiting for something like that since Battle Royale came out. Just hasn't happened yet.
No. Our Battle Royale is on the way out the door, so we're it's going bye-bye.
For mine, I'm more than happy to keep mine. Last week, it's one of its best pulls ever. So So it's
it's not for the fact it's doing bad. It's the way our structure works in the company is we have everything is for sale all the time, and they're being, I guess they're making another run of them now, but there's a point where they weren't making them anymore.
Right.
And the price that we were selling for, what the computer came up with, was just too good for somebody. I mean, it was good enough that it was high, for a used game, but it wasn't. I mean, if you can't get it, you can't get it. And we're the only ones that had one, so
sure.
It's that kind of thing, So it's not that I don't like that game. It's just we made money on it. It's out the door. We get something new in. That's how it works.
Sure.
So it kind of went out prematurely, but I'm not going to take a low. I'm not going to keep it and lose money on it in the long run. So I got more than I paid for it originally. So if you want,
that's good.
So we operated for a year. We sold it. That's the name of the game. We get something new in. Maybe we'll get a pinball or something like that. Actually, we're getting Axe Master, the old chopping the wood game. You see that? Gotcha. The Sega Axe Master. It's like,
yep, I've seen that. Actually, Sega had something called can't remember the exact name. It was like Drop This, Win This, or something like that. It was a new variation. It looked like it was in a Keymaster cabinet, but now it's about lifting up this little bar, and then if the prize drops, you win it, sort of thing. Still stupidly simple and easy, but that's what the prize redemption market needs, is just easy, simple to understand concepts that are games that last 5-10 seconds. Generally.
Yeah, I don't mean to want to take us off course, but I know that the Axe Masters are on closeout right now, so that's why we got it. But I don't know what you guys are selling for over there. But so you saw Pac-Man now. Did you see anything at the ice booth where I would have a field day? Did you see anything over there?
They had the Angry Birds arcade showing up, of course, which was released to Dave & Buster's in the middle of the summer, and they got to enjoy that.
That's for
a while.
It's a fun game, actually.
Yeah, it was. I think they had fine-tuned it, worked out some of the bugs. As I heard, there was a few issues with the plunger device, but worked all that stuff out, and so yeah, it's.
But more importantly, there was another game over there that was green.
Yeah. Angry Birds will do well, even though I think they probably should have done it like 2 or 3 years ago to really strike when it was a little hotter.
Well, the movie's coming out.
Right. The movie's coming out, so I'm sure that'll help. But another movie that's coming out, I already mentioned this, is the new Ghostbusters film, and ICE had their new Ghostbusters Redemption game set up, and so that was very popular. Very nice looking cabinet. It has a mechanical element to it as your ball shooter. Your light gun is a ball shooter, and so it's shooting balls at the screen, which
I don't get that.
When I saw that at first online, because there was a few people that were coming across the location test for that, I thought it looked really weird to have on the screen, on the game screen, you have a constant, almost laser-like beam that's going around, but then you have this ping pong ball shooter that's occasionally shooting, and just feels like two different types of guns being used at the same time. But they had adjusted that at IAPPA, and so that it was firing a lot faster. And so what it ends up feeling like is more a force feedback feature than feeling like two different guns. So that was definitely an improvement.
Seems kind of unnecessary, but I understand why they did it.
I get why they did that. And like I mentioned at first, it did feel unnecessary. It's kind of like, well, why are you guys doing this? But the way that it was feeling from the IAPPA build is like a force feedback type thing to the gun, at least. So I mean, the game itself, if you're a graphics guru, then you're probably not going to be thinking it's the greatest thing ever. But it looks nice and it's fun. Has the iconic music and some of the iconic ghosts, and of course the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man battle near the end. So it hits the marks for what needs to be done in a redemption type setting.
Does it feel like more like the classic Ghostbusters theming, or does it have any? I'm sure it doesn't have any new elements of the new movies in it.
No, it doesn't have any new elements, but it does have a few things that they did just themselves. Like, I think the first level is you're fighting in a kitchen where they have like a ghost-controlled turkey, cooked turkey.
Who knows? It could be in the movie. Never know.
And so there's elements like that.
Yeah,
but you also fight Vigor the Carpathian in one of the levels, which is the bad guy from Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, I did see that.
And, of course, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man's from the first one.
That's like the bonus round, right? I mean, if you
yes, yeah,
have to play some rounds and they get to the bonus, right? I mean, it's kind of,
yeah, if you defeat him, that's where you get the jackpot of tickets.
And that's where it's rigged.
If not, then you just go away sad with only 10 tickets or whatever. So
let the riggage, Stay Puft riggage begin. Just kidding.
Yep. Much. So that one, I'm sure it'll be showing up at a lot of locations out there and probably doing just fine. It's also
do you think it's? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's about 15,000. So that I don't about that one. And I've never been a big fan of these above $10,000 games. But
ice games are always usually expensive. They're usually built really good, and they're meant to last a long time. But still, I don't know. Right,
and that is important, and that's a factor we always have to keep under consideration. Is how reliable is the hardware, because that's an issue with a lot of, say, the Chinese companies that come, is that they try really hard and sometimes they do have a unique product that they didn't rip off from somebody else. But when that's the case, when you're looking at this as an operator, it's like, well, what happens if something goes wrong? And what if something goes wrong as soon as I get it?
Yeah. So, do you think it's going to break the green game curse? Do you know about the green game curse?
Right. I believe we mentioned this on the podcast before. If a game cabinet's green, it just does not earn. Mm-hmm. Which I've not personally experienced.
It has to be a lot. It has to be a lot of green.
Well, it's like Blazing Angels. That was a pretty green cabinet. It did have a bit of black in it too, but still, it.
That was like
that one's always done fine for me. So, I mean, for Ghostbusters, sure. I mean, the nice thing about the green that it has is it has like that diamond metal plate, but in green, and it also has some cool slime artwork at the bottom. And so overall, yeah, I don't think there's too much green there to cause whatever psychological problems exist with game earnings.
It's a thing, man. I'm just saying.
Sure.
And there's few games that have broken the green game curse. I can't even say it. But, the original America's Most Haunted Pinball was green, and they changed it.
True.
True. Sales went up. It's mysterious. The power of Ghostbusters. The only thing that could ruin that is probably the new movie, but we won't go into that.
True. I mean, who knows how that's going to really turn out.
I'm really worried about it.
I don't think there's a trailer for it yet. I've seen pictures from the new group, and just one of those things I'll wait and see on, I guess.
So is there any other notable manufacturers' booths that you wanted to? Now, when you were wandering around IAPPA, were you wandering around with pretzels and free condiments that they give out from all the different places? I hear these stories that there's these places down there where they're trying to sell you every amusement midway food in the world that they're trying to sell to amusement park owners and stuff. Now, do you get like tons of free food down there? And I mean, What was your experience like, honestly?
Not really. So I guess I keep missing those.
Really? I heard there's all kinds of stuff like free cotton candy and like I don't know.
There's some of that. It's just I personally don't want to stand in line all the time, or I was a little rushed this time. So I mean, because I know some things all you have to do is stand in line and you get through. And that's the case with a lot of the stuff like the motion theater rides. Those always have lines, and one that we waited a while on was the that new Galactic Force by Universal Space, and that's because their films were really long. It's like 7 minutes of game, which for that type of game is very long. Usually they're about 3 minutes.
That's a good number.
I stood in line for a little while for the what is it called? Zero latency virtual reality thing, but it was so long that I just wandered off. I talked with Eugene Jarvis. He was in line and he got in on that, but yeah, that one took a while too. But yeah, sometimes I get free food, sometimes not. It varies from.
I'm just trying to get people to understand what IAPPA is like, because a lot of these people never listening to the podcast, the three of you out there, probably never been to IAPPA or even know what IAPPA is, and so I mean, it's for those who don't know, it's an amusement park trade show, right? I mean, I got that right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's where people that own huge amusement parks, water parks, haunted houses, all kinds of things, they go, they see the newest things, they bring it back. Maybe we'll buy this roller coaster. They make big deals in back rooms, and that's what I've heard. I have yet to go. I've saw a video, but.
Right. Yeah, well, that's the thing is it's like the Consumer Electronics Show or E3, but for the amusement industry.
I think it's way cooler than E3.
But that's the thing. I mean, I've never been to E3, but I've been to plenty of IAPPAs. And
you get to ride rides, right? I mean, there's like free roller coasters, little ones, right?
Mm-hmm. Because they will often, not at this IAPPA, but the one before, SeaWorld unveiled a completely new roller coaster ride. And so usually when they do that, they might have a small demo sort of thing set up. But amusement parks also will have those smaller rides which don't take up a whole acre of space.
Kind of like carny rides,
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And so all the latest, greatest types of rides that fit into that, or one thing that's really popular in the industry these days is what are called dark rides, which are indoor, essentially roller coasters, maybe not roller coasters that go up. They're just always flat on the ground. I'm trying to think of a ride that's comparable.
Yeah.
I don't know if Pirates of the Caribbean would compare because that's on water, but
stuff like that, right?
Stuff like that. Yeah. And so it's cool. If there's any trade show you go to IAPPA.
Definitely. Now, did you get over to the old land of pinball over there? I'm sure there was two competing booths, right? Or no?
Yeah, there was Stern Pinball and Jersey Jack Pinball.
Or the other guy.
And who's the other guy?
Jersey Jack. He's just the other guy.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about.
I'm sorry. So
trying
to keep it lighthearted.
Yeah. Sure, I got you. With those
anything impressive there? I mean, like.
I liked The Hobbit. It was a much improved game over where it had been, because I did get to play it the year before when it was in a very early stage with completely different artwork. And so this now had new artwork and a much more mature code base and rule set. So it actually felt like a game you could play out on location. And with that, it was a good game. I liked it, and
I heard they're going to ship them now. It's a mysterious.
Yeah, they are in full production, and last they were staying or hoping for is shipping out this month. Although I'm sure it'll take a little while to get one because there have been pre-orders since they unveiled this thing and started taking pre-orders for it back in 2012. So I have to imagine it'll be a few months before anybody will be getting one just showing up out of the blue without a pre-order to get one. But it is a good game that they've put together from what I got to play. And so it'll be going head to head with
software improvements and on-screen graphics and all that.
Now, right, I mean, that's the thing. It's just much, much better than anything Stern does as far as the artwork on the screen goes, because they have a full color HD screen. Stern's still stuck in the past with their monochromatic stuff. Now, I did get to play the Game of Thrones, and that did surprise me. I've never seen the Game of Thrones. I know a little bit about it just from videos and memes online. But I mean, it was all right. It had
Did you play the LE or the Pro?
Both.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one would you say is better?
Well, like usual, the LE. I mean, it's always never much of a competition.
Really? Because I heard they play way different. Like
they do. I'm trying to remember the exact.
I know I know the differences. The Pro and Premium. I mean, the Premium and LE have the upper play field.
Right.
It's a whole different. Like, it must slow the ball down. I'm assuming. I've never played it.
Yeah, there is that. The Pro is a faster game. Now that we're talking about it, I'm remembering bits and pieces here. The toys details are better on the Premium and LE as well. The topper was a nice little touch.
Which is extra, by the way.
Well. Right. But overall, I guess one thing that I remember the most from that game was the video mode, because they have a sword fighting video game built into it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not the first time video games have been added into pinball.
Well, it's actually this game's made by Steve Ritchie, so he's the guy who made the first video mode.
Right, with the Terminator 2, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, he's done that again, which is a nice touch. But
did you notice? I want to ask you a question. Did you notice that they try to use full motion video on a DMD display? Did you notice that?
Yeah.
And my theory on this is that they already have the full motion video version for the LCD done, and either it didn't make production or they're going to release an LCD. This is all speculation. I still think they're going to release an LCD like Stern shop kit for previous games to sell you. If Stern puts an LCD in, I think they might sell it to you extra.
Sure. And that would fit into what they've done with the mods. Like Walking Dead had several modifications that Stern sold. I mean, there's a lot of mods you can buy out there from just people that are pinball enthusiasts. For pretty much every pinball game, but Stern, they sometimes do mods and sometimes they don't.
They've done a lot more, I mean.
Yeah, they've done a lot more with The Walking Dead and Kiss and Game of Thrones, but I'd say Walking Dead's the most complete because they had the fish head tanks and the Governor's Tower and the side armor and all sorts of stuff. Not really sure why they went all out on that one and not so much on others.
Well, maybe they're still coming out with Game of Thrones. It's pretty early.
Right, yeah. There's still a lot they can change in that regard. But, I'm hopeful that they'll finally, in 2016, upgrade to an LCD. It's way, way past time. I know they don't think so, but it's just when you see what can be done with color DMD. There's the company called Color DMD, and they've been doing some amazing updates to Stern and other older games by just colorizing things.
Yeah, just adding color would be nice.
Yeah, it's amazing how big of a difference that makes. But it's the same as saying, if you have a black and white movie and you colorize it, there's just certain things that you get out of it that you with color that you didn't get with black and white. And so that's the same with pinball.
Well, I think they saw Jersey Jack come out with the display, and they prepped for an LCD, and then they saw Jersey Jack stumble, because they've been stumbling. So they're like, well, if they're stumbling, why bother, And now that they're not stumbling so much anymore, they've got investors, they got some business plan, and they're tightening their belt, and they're focused, and now they're like, well, now we'll just release it now, and they'll probably do something.
Right. And that's the thing. I mean, for anybody that isn't aware of the situation with pinball, I mean, Stern, they've been a monopoly in the market just because there hasn't been anybody willing to put in that amount of investment capital to do pinball, or at least to do it on the same level that Stern does it. I mean, there's a lot of boutique ones out there, but
for a long time there wasn't a market, and they held on by a thread. Right. I mean, so I give them a little bit of credit for that.
What happened was if you look at the games that Stern was producing from the time, you can tell they just weren't trying. They didn't care. They didn't have to care because, if it's just you, why do you need to waste money on making innovations and things of that nature, like NBA Pinball from 2008 or Wheel of Fortune or even 24, which was a Steve Ritchie game, just seems so bare bones and boring that, just didn't feel like they were trying. But then Wizard of Oz was announced by Jersey Jack, and suddenly they start updating things and doing stuff, trying for once in a long time.
Well, they had some hits back then. They had Pirates and stuff. Yeah.
No, I mean, before, like, 2006 and before that, there was that thing where it felt like they cared, but somewhere around 2007, 2008, it just seems like, to me, it seems like they just kind of gave up and just was like,
I think
whatever.
I don't know about their financials. Maybe they were running into trouble. I mean,
I believe that was the case because they made a big deal about getting investors sometime around, I want to say 2009, 2010, that infused the company with cash and a little more excitement. And I mean, they definitely have improved. It's just the timing did seem a little suspicious because it was very soon after Wizard of Oz was announced. And they started talking about all these innovations that they were going to do with Wizard of Oz. And so, I mean, I'm not complaining because I'm happy that any of this stuff's happening. To me, it was sad that pinball was ending up like it did.
How many? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say there's still issues with, you still have monochromatic displays and just other things where if you were to take a lot of these Stern games and put them into, or let's say you take a time machine and go back to the 90s, the only thing that would stand out from them is having licenses that people aren't familiar with. But otherwise, themselves are oftentimes less innovative or less detailed than games were back in 1996.
There's another innovation that we've overlooked, which is kind of by accident. It's the addition of like decent LED lighting. And if you have a Star Trek and if you put it next to like your old Shrek, I mean, it made some sort of world of difference.
Oh yeah,
that wasn't totally Stern, but
but that's the thing is Stern didn't do that until Wizard of Oz announced it. Because I remember Jersey Jack announcing, "Oh yeah, we're going to do multicolor LEDs."
Well, not just the multicolor, but just LEDs in general make the game
right. And because Stern was able to get out with it first because of Jersey Jack stumbling, but Jersey Jack did announce it first. And I remember playing Wizard of Oz at a trade show before they had done Star Trek, and got to see that firsthand, and it was very impressive. And then, of course, it was soon afterwards where Stern, because they have the ability to make changes quickly, they got that out first technically. But still, if it wasn't for somebody...
Well, I mean, there was modders and, Coin Taker and all them. That it really was the home market that kind of pushed it. And then, and Jersey Jack, when they came out with the tri-mode LED or the multicolor LED, I mean, that was just was crazy futuristic, I guess,
Right.
And Stern copied them,
Right.
And it still isn't as good. But the Jersey Jackets had a lot of issues with those light boards too. So there's some hurdles to being first.
Definitely.
So speaking of pinball, we also had a Spooky Pinball finally show off their game. Did you get to see that?
Yeah. I saw the trailer for Rob Zombie's Spook Show International, which if you are a regular podcast listener, thank you. You would have heard an interview in 2015 that Sean did with the founder and CEO, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that his position?
I don't know. He's head spooky guy. I don't know.
Guy in charge.
He's the owner, I suppose, him and his wife of Spooky Pinball LLC, Chuck Emery, and but anyway, we did a halfway okay interview with him, and he was courteous to come on here, and no one heard it probably, but we had all these nice guests, and no one. I mean, go back and listen to the old ones. We'll have to put those up somewhere.
Yeah.
And so they finally released it. You saw it? It has a color display.
Yeah.
I mean, thank goodness, because that's in my rule book now. I don't buy any pins without one. And what did you think of it? I mean, would you put it in your arcade? Honestly.
Well,
see, that's
that I would
question.
need to actually play it to know for certain if it's something that I would put into my arcade. And now I don't know.
Gameplay aside, with the artwork and the music content, is it something you think that you would put in your game room?
I don't know. I'm not a Rob Zombie guy, but of course it doesn't matter what I think in that regard. It's up to my customers, but I honestly have no idea if my customers would be into that. I mean, I have some people that come in and play pinball, and they won't care what I put in there. As long as it's pinball, they'll play it. But I need more than that to make a pinball worth spending that money on. So I don't know. I've done better with kids-themed type ones than I have with more adult-type ones.
Thank you.
So that's my guess. I don't know how well it would do. I'm guessing it wouldn't do terribly well with that theme, because it is a bit, even if you put it in family mode, it's probably still going to be a little more mature. For a bar, I imagine that could be a really good piece to have.
Right.
Just in my arcade, which gets all ages, but a lot of kids, especially when school's out, I just don't see that getting that appeal there.
What did you think of the artwork? I mean, do you think it was cool, or like? Oh
yeah, it looks good as far as that goes. I like the artwork. I like the toys, how their design looks, and of course the color DMD. So in that regard, no complaints there about that. So that I think they did a good job there, and that technically puts them on the map as far as becoming a slightly bigger.
Give me a second. I gotta pause. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Fuck. What?
Now you can say something really quick. What was what the heck about there? Oh.
Sorry about that, Adam.
That's okay.
Kids are screaming. It's just because they found.
Gotta keep things going on. Gotta keep them happy. What are we at on time so far?
Well, we're at about 40 minutes on this cut, and then whatever the other cut was.
About 10, I think.
Yeah. Probably should move on.
Okay, what we can do probably is just get into maybe predictions for 2016, hopes, expectations, that sort of thing.
Sounds like you're getting tired already.
Sure. Well, I was up till 1 in the morning last night, and then had to open the store today.
Yeah. I got up at 5 in the morning to pull a monitor out, if it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
out of a Tekken 5, throw it in a Time Crisis 3, and then didn't fucking work. God damn it. All right, whenever you're ready.
Go ahead.
Predictions for 2016.
Well, some things we know about. There is the cruising picture that we saw from a Chuck E. Cheese event. Haven't heard anything else about that, and Raw Thrills was
it's unconfirmed cruising.
Yeah, Raw Thrills didn't want to hint at that at all. They played really coy at IAPPA, but it certainly looks like there is some sort of cruising game based on the old Cruisin' USA coming. And so this month in January, we will have EAG. It's a trade show that happens in the UK. And so oftentimes one or two brand new games are there. So who knows? Maybe we'll see cruising there. But Qbert Redemption, also by Raw Thrills, that is going to use the same type of idea behind it as they used with Galaga Assault and Pac-Man Chomp Mania. So it will be interesting to see if that has an amusement-only mode, so you can just play something like an arcade Qbert just with new graphics. And let's see, Sky Cursor will be finished this year, the independent side-scrolling shoot-'em-up game. Look forward to seeing how that pans out with a final version, but also their hardware, if they'll be able to get other companies on board, other independent game developers to produce content for that. I'd like to see that, and I hope that happens. Let me think. There's the rumor of Ghostbusters Pinball, and so that might be the next one Stern announces here anytime now.
I hope it's Star Wars, honestly. I hope they're wrong. But
if it isn't, I am very surprised nobody's done or doing a Star Wars. That just seems like an idiotic, wasted opportunity. It's like it didn't take rocket scientists at all to know that, yeah, this was going to be the next big thing. So that nobody was on that is just kind of...
maybe they did, or maybe they are. No, we don't know.
Maybe, but it'll come much later than when it should have, and it's just using the same mentality of, who cares? It doesn't matter.
Well, they have a new movie every year now, right? I mean, it's going to be going for a while.
They do. It's just we do have to remember, like with when George Lucas was in charge, they did a movie with the Clone Wars, but nobody cared about that. And so the movie that'll be coming out this year, it doesn't have the Star Wars characters that people know and love. And so,
but it's going to be live action, right? It's not cartoon.
Yes.
Yeah, the other one was
that'll be the major difference there. And so hopefully it is something that keeps that going, but
I would buy a Star Wars pinball in a heartbeat. I'm just saying, versus Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that seems like a no-brainer. So hopefully somebody is doing that, and what I meant was if nobody is working on one already at this point, then it's almost incompetence. I mean, it's not knowing the market.
The license is too expensive, one or the other.
There is that, but then again, I mean, to me, it's a bit. I'm a little put off by the marketing hype with Star Wars, because it's gotten to a point where it's ridiculous, like putting Kylo Ren on oranges or BB-8 on oranges to sell oranges, and it's like a bit ridiculous, with some of the marketing hype. So, I mean, if they can get it slapped onto oranges, I'm sure a pinball machine shouldn't cost too much. But what do I know?
We don't know anything. We're just operators.
An armchair quarterback.
Yeah, I wish, it's kind of, the whole industry's taken this weird turn, and there's a lot of big operators, and they get everything they want, and the rest of us are kind of left to fend for ourselves. Either we have to buy the $15,000 game, or we got to buy the $900 one. And
There's nothing in between.
No. And
so that's with that independent company that's making the Sky Cursor. They have that PC JAMA kit, and they were trying to woo some other independent developers out there. I'm hoping they can get that, because that could be the sort of thing that this industry needs, or that us other operators need. Just something that's middle ground.
So you bought a lot of games last year. I mean, are you looking to buy any more this next year, or I mean, what's your prediction? Maybe.
Right now, no.
They're expensive,
Yeah, that's the thing, is I'm essentially in recovery mode right now. I have to pay things off before I start getting more stuff. But I would really like to open up a second location. At this point,
you definitely want to open it in Wisconsin, right? You want
it's kind of a drive.
Just fly over here and shovel some snow.
Right. I got plenty of snow here, so I'm good.
Drag those golden tees through the snow. It's a great time. Anyway, well, that's the only reason I ask is because at the end of the year we have a big pool of money and we go like, oh, what are we going to buy for games this year? And then the wife gets mad at me and whatever. But
well, that's the constant battle, is you have to spend money to make money, and so hopefully you make the right decisions and buy the right games, which do that. It's just, I mean, I am interested in a few things. It's just hard to say which ones are going to be the ones to spend the money on. But even then, I think right now I just shouldn't, to be wise with my money, I shouldn't be buying anything for a few months at least.
Right.
If a little longer than that.
Probably not till summer.
Recuperate and then see where I'm going to be at.
Yeah, I mean, it's, for the end of the year, we're down to one pinball machine in inventory. Video games have taken a hit. We're looking at buying Redemption, honestly. Like I said, we're buying an Axe Master. I'm also looking at maybe a Flappy Bird, merchandiser from Baytech, because we get good deals on those because we're local. But even then, I don't know. I mean, it's been a good year. I mean, 2015 is a good year for us.
Yeah,
and
that was the best year I've recorded since I started in 2008. So it was really good, and part of that was just how good the movies were doing, since I'm kind of tied to that.
Which is good. That's good, though.
Right, and to be honest, right now with everything being licensed, I think that's also part of it. Is you have Jurassic Park arcade, and you have Star Wars Battle Pod, and all these things which are based on big movies. So it's just easy marketing as far as that goes. So I understand why all the companies are still into doing almost exclusively licensed stuff at this point. So yeah, I'm optimistic for this year.
It's going to be tough to beat 2015. I'm concerned, but
there's always things to be concerned about, and not get too optimistic to become comfortable in thinking that we just don't have to do anything. Things will be fine as long as we just keep our heads down or whatever. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good year. Of course, this year we'll have at least in the States, it's a political year, and so there's always craziness with that going on. But
hope we don't blow ourselves up before the end of next year.
Right. And it's a leap year, so we have one extra day. So that's always a bonus, I guess. But
the IRS has got their pinchers out. They've got extra years worth of money in tax revenue.
Right. And actually, that's the thing today. Starting today, a lot of new laws on the books, federally, on state-wise, and I know here in Utah, there's some new stuff with taxes. I need to get a hold of an accountant to talk to them about that to figure this out, because I've got a bunch of requirements now that I have to fulfill that I didn't have to do earlier, and I have no idea what it is that I'm doing. So,
yeah, it sucks running a business.
well, it's part of the fun.
I just drive blind through the wilderness,
Yeah.
Well, I think we should end it there. I don't see.
Sure. Well, let you give your closer first, and then I'll do mine.
Oh, you go ahead, man.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening to this podcast again, and next time we'll try and have something more focused. This was more just a kind of 2015 in review / 2016 in preview. But, just visit arcadeheroes.com for the latest in arcade news. And feel free to visit tpublic.com and search Arcade Heroes for our wonderful T-shirts. I'm sure everybody's already spent that money for Christmas stuff, but we'd appreciate it. So there's costs that we need to cover for the website. And check us out on YouTube. I've got some videos on their way. I'm uploading one as we speak about games turning 40 years old this year. And I'll be following that up with games turning 30, 20, and 10. So a nice look back at some of the past arcade innovations and names that everybody's familiar with. But that's my part. So, Sean, take it away.
Well, if you want to find anything about my little humble company here in Wisconsin, just look at allcastlegames.com. We sell games for your home, your rec room. We'll put games in your business for a fee. Minor, won't cost you anything, but yeah, that's it. And go ahead and check out our store on TeePublic as well. And I guess that's it for me. Have a nice one.
All right. So we'll see you guys on the next podcast.
All right.